In this video, I'm gonna show you how to install the SX Rotary Enhanced Taillight Gasket to prevent condensation from building up in your taillights. All mentioned items will be linked in the description, and also if you're new to my channel and like to watch RX8 videos, then consider subscribing. First off, remove the negative terminal of the battery. Next, we have to take out the plastic trim from the trunk, and we'll do so by removing these 4 plastic pins holding it. For this job, you're gonna need a small flathead screwdriver. Slide the screwdriver under the central part of the pin, pry it open, and take it out with your hand. Do the same for the 2 remaining plastic pins on the other side. When done, place your hands in the central pocket of the rear plastic trim and start pulling upwards from your left and then from your right. Lift it up a bit, push it forward, and then take it out, just like that. Next up, we have to remove these 3 plastic pins holding the carpet in place. So let's take a crosshead screwdriver, unscrew the central part of the pin, and then take a flathead screwdriver and pry out the remaining part of the pin. Repeat the same process for the pin next to it. To make things easier, you can also use these special pliers to easily remove any clips and pins. Remove the last pin by prying out the central piece with a flathead screwdriver and then take it out with your hand. With that done, it's time to open the carpet piece and put it on the side. Here you'll see this metal cover protecting the connectors. We'll have to remove 3 nuts that are holding it in place. So take a 10mm socket and a ratchet and start releasing the nuts. When they're nice and loose, you can unscrew them with your hand and take them out. And with the last nut removed, we can finally remove the metal cover. Here we have to unplug 4 connectors. Squeeze down the upper side of the first connector and pull it out. Squeeze the next one on the right side and pull it out. The same goes for the next one. To remove the connector on the long wire, simply squeeze down the upper part and pull it out. Simple as that. Next, we have to push out this plastic hook while holding the taillight so it doesn't fall, and then take it out. Right away, we can see that my taillight gasket is disintegrated, and broken or worn out gaskets will lead to condensation in your taillights. If your taillight has water inside or it's still full of condensation, then let it dry before putting it back. Next up, we have to remove the thick part of the gasket that is attached to the car, but we must be careful not to scratch the paint. So get a big flathead screwdriver and carefully remove the leftovers of the old gasket. With the big chunks removed, you should be left with the base of the old gasket. And since we don't want to damage the paint, we will use a special solvent to loosen up the gasket. So let's shake it up and spray it on a small portion of the gasket and then wipe it away with a microfiber towel. Repeat the process until all of the gasket remains have been wiped out. And done! The old gasket was completely removed and the paint was not damaged. With the whole area now clean, this is how it looks like. Alright, so now it's time to remove the old gasket from the taillight. We can do so by slowly ripping it out piece by piece, and then with the remaining thin layer, simply rub your finger on it to get it loose. Now take a wet rag and clean the rear of the taillight. With that done, take the gasket and position it like this. Place the connector in the hole of the gasket and then place the gasket on the taillight so that the holes on the gasket fit the bolts of the taillights. Double check that all of the holes have been filled correctly, and if everything looks good, we can put it back in. First, insert the connector inside the right hole and position the taillight so that every bolt and pin is inserted in the proper hole. Pull up the plastic hook so that it grabs the metal bracket. Next up, connect the short connector to the one on the long wire. Then connect the white one to the one next to it. Connect the black one to the middle one, and the beige one to the first orange connector. With that done, it's time to put back the metal cover, hold it with one hand, and manually screw on the 3 nuts holding it. Due to the additional density of the gaskets, it's advised to tighten down the nuts in 2 steps. Firstly, tighten them down until they feel snug and seat the taillight cluster on the gasket. After 24 hours, tighten them up fully. This reduces the risk of damaging the studs in the back of the cluster. Next, check that the taillight is nice and firm. After that, put back the carpet and the 3 pins holding it. Now repeat the exact same process on the other taillight with the remaining gasket. When finished, plug back the battery. And we're done! Your taillights are now ready for a condensation-free life. As always, all the items that I've mentioned will be linked in the description. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on new RX8 videos.